Hi, I can't concentrate on you because I feel this video is going to be removed. Still read this for you until they, and before they actually remove it, I'm going to, well, I'll have it here for a while. I mean, as long as I can until it's removed. But anyway, I'm going to be concentrating on this camera because it's my camera and I'll own the video for it, and so if this is pulled off, then I can maybe replace it with what's on this camera. So I'll do that right now. Hi. According to Muslims, the surah, or chapter in the Quran, called the Clot, really shouldn't be called the Clot, but called the clinging leech-like substance. Or, yeah, because they think that apparently any Quran that's translated from Arabic into another language has been corrupted, and that only in Arabic is how it's supposed to really be. And in Arabic, it's not the clot or the blood clot, it is the clinging leech-like substance. Of course, Muslims will say, actually, it just means it looks like a clot. You know, it looks like a blood clot, or it's not really a blood clot. It just looks like one, because that when it says then it looks like, then it says chewed food, it really means it just looks like chewed food, and it just looks like a leech. But guess what I discovered? In SAHIH Muslim, SAHIH means authentic, in authentic Muslim hadith, book 33, number 6390, which I'll post in my description here. It says this: Abdullah bi Masud reported that Allah's messenger, Paba, who is the most truthful of the human beings, is added, and his being truthful, then is added, is a fact, said, quote, "Verily, your creation is on this wise. The constituents of one of you are collected for 40 days in his mother's womb in the form of blood." So, I guess when you are when the sperm hits the egg, you turn into blood, according to Muhammad. And then it goes on and says, yeah, for 40 days you're a bunch of blood. Yeah. After which it becomes a clot of blood in another period of 40 days. You get that? So for 40 days, I guess when the sperm hits the egg, you become a bunch of blood. And then for another 40 days, you are a blood clot. Then it goes on. Then it becomes a lump of flesh, and for 40 days later Allah sends his angel to it with instructions concerning 4 things. So the angel writes down his livelihood, his death, his deeds, his fortune and misfortune. By him, that's Allah, besides whom there is no God, that one amongst you acts like the people deserving paradise, until between him and paradise there remains but the distance of a cubit, when suddenly the writing of destiny overcomes him, and he begins to act like the denizens of hell, and thus enters hell, and another one acts like the way of the denizens of hell, until there remain between him and hell a distance of a cubit, that the writing of destiny overcomes him, and then he begins to act like the people of paradise and enters paradise. In other words, it's nothing about deeds that get you to heaven or hell or being sinless. It is those special instructions written before you were born by Allah. So that's kind of creepy, you know, because you don't know how Allah is. You know, you could be, thinking you're Mr. Muslim, and all of a sudden you start believing like the angel says, which is that Christ died on the cross for your sins, and then you end up in hell. So anyway, did you get this? Quote, "The constituents of one of you are collected for 40 days in his mother's womb in the form of blood, after which it becomes a clot of blood." in another period of 40 days. You know, that's not true. As a matter of fact, when the sperm hits the egg, you're not blood. You're a ball of dividing cells. There's no blood in it, just a bunch of dividing cells. And then it hooks up to, it sinks into the uterus and grows a umbilical cord. And it might look like something, you know, but it's never a blood clot. And yet Muhammad said that it's a blood clot. It says, after which it becomes a clot of blood in another period of 40 days. Then it becomes a lump of flesh, and for 40 days later, Allah sends his angel. You get that? Muhammad really believed that embryos go through a blood clot stage, and for 40 days. And 40 days before that, it's just blood for 40 days. Do you get that? Do you get that? You know? That's not true. And Deuteronomy says if a prophet is just wrong in one prophecy, he's not to be feared. In other words, he's a false prophet. So what do you think about that? You know, it's not that it looks like a blood clot or that looks like a leech or it looks like a clean leech-like substance or it looks like chewed food. It says after which it becomes a clot of blood, just like that's why the Quran is called. That's why that surah is called the clot, not the clean leech-like substance. No. Muhammad blew it. He's a false prophet. Bye. So, anyway, check it out and see what you think. Bye.